All right, let's take a look at this one. This one, what we've got to keep in mind, your science teacher probably told you this, and they were right. The most common and useful formula you're ever going to use is equal to distance equals rate times time. You've all heard this one before, I'm sure. All right, distance equals rate times time. So what we have here is a comparison of this, but we have to make sure that we are set to what they want to solve for. It says a person swims 11 miles down river. In the same time, they can swim 7 miles upriver. So right there, we're talking about their distance, right? The speed of the current is 4 miles per hour. So what we're looking for here is trying to find the rate of either of these two. So what we need to do is find out and compare their times, which is equal to the distance, which we know, over the rate, which we know. So let's compare these two. First of all, their time, because it says, remember, it says find the speed, where does it say? In the same time. So that means their time is going to be equal. So time upriver, when is time upriver equal to time downriver? So that's the equation we came up with. They're usually going to say something like that. When will the times be the same? When will the distance be the same? We know we're comparing them to each other. So let's talk about the time. Well, time is equal to distance divided by rate. Distance divided by rate. So what is our downstream distance according to our scenario here? Our downstream distance is 11 miles. So we're going to replace D with 11. And our distance for the upstream is 7 miles. We don't know how fast they are traveling. Excuse me, we do know how fast they are traveling. What we don't know is the rate of the current. Sorry, we do have that. The current is 4 miles. I'm sorry about that. So it's going to be rate. When you're going downstream, you're going to have a current pushing you. So it's going to be my rate plus 4. When I'm going upstream, the current is going to be working against me. So it's going to be my rate minus 4. Follow our reasoning there? So if I'm going 10 miles per hour and upstream, the current's going to be kicking me up to 14. If I'm going 10 miles per hour and current is working against me, 4 miles, I'm only going 6 miles per hour. That's why we're traveling this way. So now we've set up a proportion. Just like the last questions we were doing, we have a proportion here. Our excluded values, our x cannot be equal to 4, but a lot of times just physics eliminate these things. Like it technically is r equals -4, but you can't have a -4 rate anyway. Can't even have negatives, can't have 0. I guess you could have 0. Current could be flat, no current whatsoever. So what we do here is we cross multiply. That would give us 11r, 11 times the r, minus 11 times the 4, which is 44. And then on the other side, we have 7 times r, 7r, 7 times 4, which is 28. Most of the time when you do these rational expressions, where you move them is pretty self-explanatory. It makes much more sense to move the r over here. That way we'll have a positive number for r. And it makes more sense to move the 44 over there because now we have a positive 72. We divide both sides by 4. What would our rate be? I'm thinking 18. (18 miles per hour). What is 18 miles per hour? That's also the important part about word problems. Not just getting an answer, but interpreting the answer. Usually you just have to go to your last sentence. And what does the last sentence say? Find the speed of a person in still water. So this person swimming 18 miles per hour in still water. That's a pretty fast swim. But that's what our answer should be. So let's take a look at this one. It says a boat goes 240 miles downstream. And you're going to see most of these deal with stream because we're comparing one scenario to another. Same thing with the earth and flying. What all comes into effect with flying, by the way? Wind, right? What else? Drag. The other thing, you're flying over a moving target. That's why if you fly to the other side of the country, if you go to Australia, you're going to fly with the rotation, and then when you fly back, you're going to fly with the rotation. So you won't be taking the same track because the Earth rotates under a plane as well. So the plane is moving, but so is the Earth. All right. So that's another thing that we have to take into consideration. We know a full rotation is 24 hours. All right. So downstream 240, upstream 160. The speed of the current. So how fast are we in still water? So we basically have the same thing again. We need to see in the same time. If this said the same rate, well, the rate formula is rate equals distance over time. So you end up using the same thing over and over again. So don't worry about that. But this one we are comparing their time, which is distance over rate. So we want the two times to be the same because they said they were. So this is, which is first? Downstream. This is upstream. So the downstream would be distance over rate equal to distance over rate. Well, the distance of downstream is 240. The distance of upstream is 160. The current is 5 miles per hour. We don't know the rate that he's traveling, but if he's going downstream, the current is adding to his speed. And if he's going upstream, the current is subtracting from his speed. Drop those parentheses. When we cross multiply, is that 1200? And then we'll multiply the 160, 160R plus 800. Like I said on the last example, it's usually pretty self-explanatory where we want to move everything on these linears. I want to move the 160R over here, make the smaller one go to the bigger one. That would give me 80R. And then move the 1200 to the other side equals 2000. We divide both sides by 80. What would our rate be? So our rate would be 25. And again, it's most important that you interpret what you found. R equal to 25 means nothing. Somebody put it into a sentence. 25 is the speed of the boat in still water. All right? If you can, you know, they talk about book smart and street smart type stuff. Your boss doesn't care if you can solve something if you can't interpret what you solved. Be the smartest person on the planet, but if you can't relay what you've discovered, who cares? Who cares? So make sure that you know. And usually, like I said, the last sentence or the second to last sentence will be what you just found.